I just want to share something I've been studying, something I've been thinking about, particularly on education, as you will know. But this is actually about philosophy of education. But before we start, I want to share that this is the goal of education when we think of education, the true meaning of education, not vocational training, because sometimes we kind of misunderstood vocational training as to mean education. Training, learning of skills, those things are not really education in the true sense of education. So I want to talk about the philosophy of education using three different examples. And while now we start with Chesterton, who said that education does not consist, I'm paraphrasing, he said that education does not consist in subjects and it does not deal with subjects, but rather education is the transfer of a way of life or transfer of culture. So in this aspect, you see that education is not particularly the subject that a child learns in the school, but rather what is true education is transfer of culture. And now we start to think of what is culture, what are those culture that's transferable. And I think it was Werner that said that that defines education as the preservation and transmission of culture. He said that because the individuals who make the culture dies, but the type, which is the culture that makes, lives on. So education is the transfer of this culture from one generation to the other. Now, link it to the second instance, we're talking about philosophy of education. Link it to the second instance where Jesus, when teaching, he said that a student is not above his master, but a student, when he's fully trained, becomes like his master. So the goal here, like we have said, that education in the first place does not deal with subjects, but rather deals with is a transfer of culture. Now, the purpose or the goal of the teacher in the classroom is to impart this culture, which we believe is already living in the teacher. He takes this culture that is living in him and imparts it into the students. He transferred this culture that he has received. And I love the Apostle Paul whenever he says, I received I pass on to you what I received. So it's the culture you receive, you pass on to your students. So that is what education is. So when the child is fully trained, he or she becomes like the master, who was also like those who taught him or those who made him in their own image. So that is actually what education is. We can say is making one in your own image or in the image of the society or the community. Now, the last instance is a question that Socrates threw to Hippocrates when he was going to Protagoras to be taught the art of sophistry. He said, when you see a doctor and you're going to a doctor to be taught, what is he going to make you? He said, it's going to make him a doctor. And we are going to a shoemaker to learn the art of shoemaking. What are you going to become when he's done teaching you? He says he's going to become a shoemaker. So he asked him, now that you're going to Protagoras to be taught the art of sophistry, what is he going to make you? He said he's going to make him a sophist. This is after a long discussion. He was able to arrive at that point that Protagoras is going to make him a sophist. Now the question is on this question, or our reflection should be on this question: what is he going to make you? So now link everything together. Education is the transfer of culture, just like G.K. Chesterton said, and Jesus said that the goal of the master or the goal of the teacher is to make the students in his own image. Now, tie it down to what Socrates was trying to tell Hippocrates, that what is this person going to make you? What is Protagoras going to make you when you have finished staying with him? He says he's going to make him a sophist. So if we don't answer these three things, if these three things are missing in our education, we are not really doing education the right way. So this three things must be in our education. We must be able to ask, which is the question that philosophy of education addresses. We must be able to ask, what is education? Which is the transfer of culture. Then, what is the goal of this teacher? What is the goal of the teacher in the classroom? The goal is simply to make the student to become like him, to form the student in his own image, to pass on to the student what he or she has received from those who taught him. Now, the question that should guide the student or the parent who is sending their kids to be taught is, what will this school or what will this teacher make my child or make my son or my daughter by the time he's done staying under his tutelage? So what is she going to make your children? What are they going to turn them into? And I would like to close with this quote from Vocational. He said, "We should not be surprised when we send our children to be taught by the Romans and they come back. We should not be afraid or surprised when we send our children to be taught by Caesar and they come back as Romans." So we send your child to whomever you send your child to learn from. Just know and bear it in mind that your child is coming back to become exactly like his master, to become exactly like the culture that trains him.